2001 through 2007 Toyota Sequoia. Rear door latch replacement. I'm Brian Essick from How To Automotive. I'm going to walk you through the steps of replacing that door latch. Okay, to do this job we need to remove this door panel. So we're going to replace this latch here. And this is the parts that we're going to use to replace it, and this part numbers. Okay, so we need to get this door panel off, and to start, there's on most cars there's going to be a little plastic cover here, and you're going to have to pop that off, and this one's already been taken off and misplaced. And then also, we're going to remove the screw here, the Phillips screw here, and then also right here there should be a little plastic cover here too, and it's already missing on this vehicle. So go ahead and pop that cover off, and then take this Phillips screw out inside there. Next, on the edge of the door panel here, there's going to be a couple of these little clips right here and here, and you're gonna push them inwards like this, and then you pop the clip out like that. So remove those too. So now we need to get this portion of the door handle off, and the way we do that is you take a flat blade screwdriver and you put it in between the handle here, and you pry it like that, and it pops it out there, and then you put it above the door lock right there and pry right there, and that'll pop it out. And then once you pop it out, you'll slide it off like that. Now you're going to take a panel popping tool like this, slide it underneath the panel, and pop the panel in a couple spots like this free. Now that the door panel's popped all the way around it, it's pretty much almost ready to come off. So what we're going to do is you're going to put one hand here and one hand here, and we're going to lift, and you're going to rock the door panels left to right and kind of lift it upwards and pull it off. But there's going to be a couple electrical connectors for the switch and for the light down below that are connected. So once we get it pulled off, you have to reach around back and unplug those. And they'll just have a little squeeze tabs like this. So you just squeeze and pull off. And the same thing for the light below. One thing I wanted to mention, when you're doing this job, you want to make sure that the window is rolled up. So now that we got the door panel off, we need to peel this weather barrier off, or at least peel it halfway off. So the way I like to do these is you just start in the corner and work your way around in small little increments. If you like grab it and rip or pull, it'll actually tear the plastic up and you won't be able to reuse it. Now we need to remove these cables here. They run actually to the door latch in there. So the way we're going to do that, so you'll grab the latch, pull towards the left, and then pull out, and it has these little ears that hook on there. That's how it's held on. Now what we're going to do is you're going to take your fingers and pry the cable out like that, and then rotate it around and unhook it from here. And you'll do the same for the black cable. You'll pop it off of your fingers and then rotate it around and unhook this. Now you can just unhook it from these little catches here, like that. You're going to remove the 10mm bolt and slide this plastic piece out. Now we're going to remove the 3 torque screws here using a T30 bit. So you'll take those out, and you'll remove the 10mm bolt here. And now you can pull the door latch out of the door and then unplug the electrical connector. Now that we got the door latch out, we need to take off this plastic cover here, and it's going to be held on with a screw here, and then you'll flip it over like that, and there'll be a screw right here you're going to remove, and you'll pull that cover off and set it aside. This little cover is actually to prevent people from slim jimming the door and breaking into the car. So now we need to remove the door lock actuator here. It's a little servo motor that operates the lock, locks and unlocks the car. It doesn't come with that part. You can order them with that part, but we're just replacing the latch here. It broke on this particular car, so you're just going to remove the screw here and here, and you're also going to have to pop the cable off right here. Probably use a flat blade screwdriver and kind of put it in there and twist and pop it out, and then unhook it from the arm here. So now we need to reinstall this actuator into the door latch here. And first, my little rod, it's in the way, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reach down at the other end of the cable and pull it, and that'll pull it out of my way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall this actuator. So you're going to lay your door latch down like this. You're going to take the actuator and have it upside down like this, or with the plug pointing upwards, and you're going to put this little nipple here into this little white latch portion right here, and put it in, and then you're just going to rotate it around till the screw holes line up here and here. You can go ahead and start those screws, but don't tighten it down just yet. Now if it's started, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use my flat blade screwdriver and put it in here and pop it out of the little perch. So now that the cable's free like that, and now I'm going to basically stab this in there and route it through, and then I'm going to make sure it goes underneath the little metal bracket here, and then I'm going to put it back in the little bracket here and squeeze it and pop it back in. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure you don't bend this cable, because if you put any bends or kink in it, it'll bind inside this plastic sleeve here. So you want to make sure that you don't kink it. Now that the door lock actuator is back on, we're going to position it like this, and we're going to put this little plastic cover back on, so it's going to go underneath the little the latch here, and you're going to put it on so the cables come through like that. Now you're going to flip it over and start the screws. So now we're ready to reinstall it back into the door, and we want to make sure that this little lever here catches on the latch on the inside of the handle. And as we feed it through the door here, we want that little lever to slide up into the slot right here. So when you pull the door handle on the outside, it pushes downwards, and that's how it operates the handle. So you want that to slide inside that handle, and then once it slides into that little up in there, then you can start the three. So we're going to feed it in the door like this, back through. Go ahead and plug in the actuator here. This little plug out right here, and this is for the child safety lock. We'll reinstall this after we get it. So as you put this in, you're going to have to line up about three things. There's going to be this on this plastic little cover here. It has a little nipple that has to go through the door here. You have to line up the child safety lock right here that has to poke through, and you have to line up the three screw holes, of course. And most importantly, that the little latch right here has to hook on the handle like that, and if it doesn't hook on the handle, it won't operate. So once you get all of it lined up, then you can go ahead and start all your screws. So you can go ahead and start your 10mm nut here and your 3 torques on the end. Now you can go ahead and tighten up all the bolts. Reinstall the grommet that went around the child's safety lock here button. And then also you can set your child safety lock now for if you want it on or off right now. So unlock is up and the lock is down. Now we're going to run this plastic piece behind the cables like this and hook it into the little plastic guide and slide it in. Want to make sure it hooks on there, and then start your 10mm bolt. Now you can take the cables and kind of untwist them here and then hook them back into their little perches like that. Run it through the weather barrier and then put your weather barrier back on. Now we're going to reinstall the cables onto the handle. So the black one's going to go on the bottom towards the handle part. So you'll stab that in first and then rotate around and pop it in. The gray one, it operates the lock. So you'll stab it through the hole here, and then you'll rotate the cable around so the threads are all the way flush like that, and you'll push it in like that. Now what you're going to do is you kind of pull it back towards the left a little bit, line it up with the holes, and then let it push towards the inside of the car, and that make sure that all three catches caught like that. So now we're just about ready to put the door panel back on, and as you can see, some of my clips stayed inside the door and they popped off the door panel here. So I'm going to use my panel popping tool, and I'm going to pop these back out and then transfer them back over to my door panel. And it's also very common for these to break, especially when they get this age, so you may have to pick up some new ones. So now we're going to plug the electrical connectors back into our switches for the light and for the window. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hook the door panel. It hooks over this lip here, and this right here is the lip I'm referring to. So after you get the switches plugged back in, you'll hook the top of the door panel over the top of the door frame. Now the door panel's hung over it. So what I do now is I kind of look from the side, and I look for the holes and the clips, and once I get them lined up, then I'll tap them in with my hand. Once I get it all lined up, then I'll take the door panel and I'll tap it around like this until they all seat. Now we're going to take the plastic clips that we took, and you're going to push them back through like this. and then reinstall them in the door panel, and then you just push until they're flush, like that. Now we need to reinstall this little cover here. So you kind of lift the handle up and slide it in. It has this little hook on the inside here, and it's got a hook, so it's going to kind of go like, once you get it in there, and then you push it in, and then slide it back towards the inside of the car. Then you'll push in the corners here to snap it, re-secure it. Once you got that done, you can put the Phillips screw in here, and then flip the little cover back over, and then you can start the Phillips screw here and put the cover back on. Now you're going to just test everything out, make sure everything works. And so you'll close the door, make sure the locks work, make sure the inner handle works, everything works, and that'll complete the door latch replacement on a 2001 through 2007 Toyota Sequoia. Brian, that's it from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos. Encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. And I wanted to remind you that I'll put a link in the description for all the tools and parts that I put in this video.